What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Tasty Tuesday on Tasty Loot Gaming, the show where we talk about gaming news. I'm Seth.
I'm Chevy.
And we're back in the studio, which is nice. It's been a whole long week of not being in here, doing a bunch of creepy in my room streams. And just want to give you guys some quick reminders that I did a Tasty Flicks where I talked about my impressions and my grades for Avengers Endgame, Pokemon Detective Pikachu, and I watched a Star Wars short that you guys should definitely check out called SC38. You don't even have to watch my reaction to it. You can go watch it yourself. Because you were not part of Tasty Flicks, but you saw the same movies I did, real quickly, what would you grade those movies? And if you have anything to say about them quickly, what would you say about them?
I would give Detective Pikachu a B-. It is a good movie, though there is some awkward acting in it. Nothing awful, just noticeable. Kind of sticks out, especially when you have someone like Ryan Reynolds, who obviously has been doing it for a while now.
Just nails it every time.
And everyone else around him isn't quite there. So he kind of sticks out like a sore thumb. Not necessarily in a bad way, but you can tell that the difference in caliber there, which is funny. I never thought I'd say that about Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, I mean, he does his shtick all the time, but he does have some confident chops
for sure
in certain areas. So,
well, yeah, and you could just tell, like, you know, he's definitely like a professional actor.
Oh yeah,
yeah. So,
well, that Justice Smith guy, which I had no idea he was on that Netflix show, The Get Down or something like that. I forgot what the fuck it's called, but it's about like the beginnings of like rap and hip hop and stuff. I watched that a little bit when it came out, and I wasn't too into it, but he was the main character in that, and I had no fucking idea. He's completely different in both.
Huh.
So, I mean, he's got some range.
Might have been a direction thing, or
maybe.
Who knows?
That guy directed Goosebumps, so.
Yeah, I didn't see that, so I wouldn't even know.
People liked it. I don't know.
I guess my only thing to add to that is I think most people should probably give the movie a shot, because even if you don't know anything about Pokemon, it is definitely a family-friendly movie, and you don't need to know their names or anything like that to just kind of go, oh, that little creature there is adorable, or that one's
They're all
crazy.
cute.
Yeah, so fun movie. And then as far as Endgame goes, I'd probably give that a B+.
Ooh, you went lower than me.
Yeah, I liked it. It definitely wraps up 10 years of stories really well in that regard. I just didn't find it as enjoyable as other movies in the MCU, but it was definitely a very good movie.
Jurassic World.
Yeah, no, that's totally a good MCU. Especially, I think the hard part too is right before we went and saw this, we watched Thor Ragnarok and Infinity War, and I liked both of those better.
They're both really good.
So, and I'm not saying, like, I have to emphasize, Endgame was a good movie. I would totally watch it again. Like, I had fun. It was just the low point of the three movies for me that I watched that weekend.
So 2 B minuses?
No, B-.
Yeah,
and then a B+.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are fair. Definitely. Yeah. All right. Anything else you want to say on this?
I mean, if you haven't seen them, I think they're both worth watching in the theater.
Definitely. I would definitely back that. Just if you're feeling, I mean, anybody who wants to see Endgame saw it. Or just going to see it.
Or multiple
times.
But
with Pokemon, if you're second guessing it, like, I don't know if I want to see it. It's fun.
Yeah, give it a shot.
It's not bad. It's just not, you're not going to be blown away by it, but I do think it stays pretty faithful to fans of Pokemon. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised in some ways. So I was surprised every once in a while by like the Game Boy references and stuff like that. I was like, oh, okay,
yeah, they made a video game movie.
Yeah.
Like they actually made a video game movie. So
yeah.
I think it's pretty important to say. So
without turning this into a different show, I would love to see them do more Pokemon movies within, and I know they'd love to do that because universes are really popular right now, but that isn't Detective Pikachu. They've already established a city within that place, Rhyme City. They could have other cities with different characters and different Pokemon
different
situations.
Stories and different movies.
They just established it.
Yep.
So, and I'd be more than willing to watch another one.
Yeah, and they don't have to be story connected at all.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that'd be fine. I would love that. In fact, I might actually like that better than them making a trilogy or something like that.
Detective Pikachu 2, which they could do down the line anyway. Like the Thor movies, having 3 of that or whatever. But I could totally see them having other adventures happening with Pokemon, because there's so many Pokemon, and they showed a lot of them in that movie, but there's so many more that they could fucking get weird with.
For sure, and it gives them the opportunity to bring other actors in.
Yeah,
So
100%.
yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking about that, and I didn't mention it in the episode, but I was like, it'd be cool if they did that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, go check out that episode if you want to see my 45-minute talk on that. And let's get into our normal quick reminders that PlayStation Plus, we got Overcooked and What Remains of Edith Finch. You can download those. You can play those. And if you want to, you can come back at the end of this month for Plus Club. That's our show where we play these games throughout the month, and then we talk about them. And you can add to that conversation what you thought of them, and we can all grade it together and be very fun. Game of the month is Risk of Rain 2, randomly picked. We've already played it, which was nice because we got that knocked out of the way, and a single game of that lasts like at least an hour. So
And we played like 3-4 games.
we played like 5 hours of that game already. So that's great. We will definitely have opinions on that game as well.
Yeah.
We're on iTunes, Spotify, and other podcast platforms. If you'd prefer to listen to us, you like audio more than video, or you like video more than audio, but you just don't want to waste all that data on your phone because you don't have unlimited, and that's completely understandable. You can listen to us on all those things. Anchor, you can listen to us on there. And yeah, we have a Discord. I almost said a Dauntless. Link down below. You can talk to us anytime, all the time. Post some random shit within reason. Although people post whatever the fuck they want, but I'm fine with that mostly. Yeah, I think it's everything. So, Taste Tuesday, back to normal. We got 3 bits of news to talk about. Some of this is actually like news, which is kind of interesting. A lot of times we're just like talking about things that are happening, but a lot of this shit is almost like, wow, that's interesting. Wow, that's something new. So, first bit of news. Dauntless, which is a Monster Hunter heavily inspired game that's free to play on PC right now, is finally coming out to Xbox One, PS4, and Epic Games Store May 21st. This was originally supposed to come out in April, but it got pushed back a little bit, and who gives a fuck, because it's like right around the corner now, so we're in the future. And it's also worth noting that this free-to-play action RPG is set to come out on Nintendo Switch as well, no date yet, and mobile, so this game will be on everything. Like I said, it is a very colorful, cartoony almost looking, fantasy looking Monster Hunter free-to-play game. And yeah, a couple of things to also mention. It says, though Dauntless has received major updates in preparation for console release, the brand new character customization system launching on May 21st, so coinciding with the release of this on everything, is especially noteworthy. It's a lot more involved than the Ancestry system currently in place, which I do not know about. This new customization menu can be accessed at any time, to giving existing players a chance to change up their look. Check out the video, which we are going to check out. So that's pretty much the news. It's coming out on console. It got announced recently, and it's coming out like right around the corner. So you guys will be able to play this free to play on everything and soon Switch. Before we get into our opinions on that, we're going to watch this character customization video real fast, and then we'll get into it. Ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1, and go. Transparency, shall we play this in a very early build? I have not played this game at all.
Correct.
It is a game I've wanted to play, though. And for some reason, I thought there was going to be character customization in the game already, but it's cool to see that it wasn't there and they're adding it.
It had picking parents.
Which makes sense for Ancestry system. Remind me of like, was it Grand Theft Auto 5 that did that?
I thought it was Red Dead.
It's one of those games. No, I think it's 5. Because you could pick John Marston or some shit as your dad or something. I don't remember. There's something weird about it.
Yeah, I don't remember. I know.
Move the sliders already, motherfucker.
What the hell was the other game I played that did that system too?
It's a neat system,
It's been
but
a couple games.
But also kind of, if the game was themed harder on the randomness of your character like that, it'd be cooler. But if it's just a game where I'm making my character that I'm going to go do sandbox shit with, I want to just make the character.
Yeah.
If it was like an RPG, I think it'd be way cooler.
I also think it'd be cool in a roguelike if you were, every time you made a new character type of thing. Of course, they kind of played around with that in roguelike, but it was more like
it was
comedic.
random though. Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be kind of cool to get like cross pollination of like characters you played in the past or whatever. Every time you die, that'd be neat. Although then there'd be people who would be strategizing who to die when and shit to make the ultimate character.
Well, I just meant appearance-wise, not stats-wise.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was still thinking Rogue Legacy. They are playing on Xbox. All right, bye, IGN. Yeah, so, coming out real soon on everything and will be on everything at some point. They just added character customization in place of ancestry system, and we just saw the character customization. What do we think of all that?
Well, I'll start with the easy one, which is the character customization. I think it's neat that they're switching to that system because, like we were kind of saying during the video, the ancestry system is a neat idea, but it never seems to be like exactly what you want. In most cases, it's just better to make the character, unless there is like a specific reason that really makes an ancestry system like make sense. Just let me make the character.
Yeah.
As far as like my opinions of this coming to more platforms and more in the future, I think that's great. The little bit I played it as a fun game. I do want to put a disclaimer: this is not a replacement to Monster Hunter at all.
Monster Hunter looks like Monster Hunter Light to me.
Combat wise, especially, the game is very fun. Don't get me wrong, but like if you are wanting that like real precise like combat system, you want to play Monster Hunter. Dauntless is definitely more actiony, though. You still have the hit points and stuff like that. I don't feel like it's as
It is a free to play game though, so
it is.
It is neat that there will be a market for this.
Oh yeah,
there already is, but like on console, expanding it. There's people who, play Monster Hunter. Maybe they've done everything already. They've played a shitload, and they want to play something else like that. So they already picked up God Hand 3 and other games,
for
all
sure.
shit.
Well, I think you're kind of, you're saying people who are like us at that point.
Yeah.
We play everything. So.
Yeah.
And a little bit I played it, I liked it. I had issues the first time I actually tried playing this game twice. The first time was almost impossible. It had some optimization issues and it wouldn't work for me very well. And then second time I actually got to play. And I played with random people and people seemed to be really nice and helpful. So like so far it seems really cool. I'd be excited to try this. Honestly, when they said Switch, that was kind of a neat one for me.
Yeah.
Because I already have it on PC, so I'm not really interested in like necessarily playing on a console. But the Switch does add a element there, in the vein of like going on trips. I can take it with me, so yeah, it's cool.
Especially when you can't get Monster Hunter World on Switch.
Yeah,
you can play something similar to
Ultimate, but
yeah,
for sure.
But they're not the same experience.
They're not the same experience.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything else?
No, this is really neat. I'm glad they're expanding. So
yeah, I'm excited for it just because I kind of forgot that this was out and free to play. When I saw this news, I was like, it's a free to play game now, right? Because when it first came out, you could buy early access, and I was gonna, but then I didn't because Monster Hunter World was coming out right around the corner, and I was like, I'm just gonna wait for the one I know is gonna be like really good.
Sure.
And I was not disappointed. But yeah, it's been kind of existing free to play for a while now, and I'm kind of glad I haven't played it because I'm sure that it's a better game now than it was when it released. Now that it's coming out for console, there's a lot of people who are not on PC that I know or don't play on PC as often that would be down to play this. So I'm pretty malleable. I'll play on anything as long as there's enough people to be playing there with. So I'm excited to play it on PS4 just to see what it plays like. I'd play it on PC, but I know there's gonna be less people I know playing on there, or they playing already. But Switch, which is interesting because that's not the news here. It is news that's coming, but that was actually a pleasant surprise to hear. Even mobile is interesting because it's not a bad looking game, but it is a minimal looking game. It has very simple textures. It's just very vibrant in its coloring and its shapes. So it could definitely work on mobile and Switch, and it would be very cool to be able to play that, like you said, if you go somewhere. I've been playing my Switch more than my PS4 lately, which is fucking ridiculous. All I've been playing is my PC and my Switch. And I keep reminding Show, I'm like, Switch is a fucking great console. I love this thing as I'm carrying it around everywhere. So, as soon as I heard like, oh, that's coming out for Switch, I'm like, that'd be fucking cool to play that on there. So yeah, overall, this is really cool. It's cool to see it expanding. Hopefully this gives it the support it needs to maintain any kind of like positive success and trajectory for them to make the game bigger and better. It's good to see that they're adding stuff like character customization that looks decent. It's not amazing, but it's not bad either. I've seen worse. Yeah, I need to give this game a try. I'll probably wait for it to release right around the corner, the 21st, because that's not very far away, and I need to play Rage 2. So I got time.
Plenty to do
this month. So yeah, overall very cool though. Anything else you want to say?
No.
Let us know in the comments. What do you think, first off, about Dauntless? Have you played it? Have you not played it? If you haven't played it, why haven't you played it? And will you play it when it comes out to console? Which console would you prefer to play it on? Or would you just play it on PC? Are you not interested in it at all? You don't like these kind of games? Or you're just a fucking purist with Monster Hunter? You're like, there's no game as good as it in that genre. I agree with you. They fucking made that shit. But let me know everything you're thinking about when it comes to Dauntless coming out for console and the character customization. And if you do play this game regularly, tell me why I should play it. It'd be very interesting.
For sure.
Second bit of news. This is a little relevant to me because I like to stream, and I just picked up Rage 2. It's downloading right now. So after done filming this, I'm going to go fucking play it because I'm really excited to try it. Even though reviews are like meh to good. And people are like, they're like, the shooting is amazing and it's very id feeling. It's very fast paced and aggressive, but the world's not alive feeling. And I'm like, okay, I'll still play it. It sounds fun. Anyway, yeah. So Rage 2 is out now, and there is news now that there will be Twitch extensions that will allow viewers to help out when the wasteland puts you into a tight spot. So, for instance, if you're watching and I'm playing, it says. If you die in the game, viewers can help by playing the defibrillation. God, I don't know why I'm having a problem saying that. Minigame to bring you back to life and impact your health total. If enough people participate, they could even bring you back to life with full health. The other application of the extension will pull viewer names for the other participants in-game races. So if you're racing against NPCs, people who are watching you could actually have their names in the game, which I was just about to jump into my opinion on that because I was like, wow, that's interesting. We have a quote here that says, we have integrated the Twitch extension into our game to try to encourage streaming, id studio director Tim Willits told GameSpot. Open world games are not really streamed as much as you would think. That's actually really kind of interesting. But we feel that with both the nature of the gameplay of Rage 2 and some of the fun that we added in, we're hoping to draw some more streamers. When asked if they are thinking about doing this with other id games, he said, yes, sir. They want to put it into future id games, but they're actually also thinking about retroactively putting it into id games that already exist. Yeah. So what do you think about these extensions specifically? What do you think about id's approach on trying to make streaming more interesting? We've seen other companies try some things like this. I know Borderlands 3 is going to have a loot system that's very interesting. When we think about the whole ecosystem of being a viewer on Twitch becoming more interactive.
I think that last thing you said is genius, because the more involved you can get people, the more they're going to want to be there.
Yeah.
And for a person, or I should say a streamer, that's okay with playing their games like in a sense like that. I mean, it's just a win-win for everybody. They get to have involvement with a lot of people, and they get to be in the game with them essentially. I'm like not the right guy for that. I don't want people messing with me at all when I'm playing a game, but I see the appeal 100%, and it makes complete sense. I think it's really smart. Even when we heard about the Borderlands one, I was like, wow, it's genius. And I think we're going to see this a lot more as this kind of stuff, where people come up with ideas on how to make that integration work. And I have to actually give Twitch a lot of credit for even having the ability to have developers do this kind of stuff. So they're really... I love, obviously, YouTube as a platform when it comes to video and stuff like that, but Twitch really has that stream game on lock on that. So I would love to see YouTube step up their game, in fact, when it comes to that. So
actually, YouTube has done a lot better than they did originally, but they're still not. They didn't start where Twitch started,
for sure.
Wanting to do the streaming first, so they are retroactively doing that. So, but I think YouTube has gotten better at streaming. It has some features I like, but Twitch is absolutely like way more formatted for that.
For sure.
Do you have anything else to say on that?
No, I mean, that's pretty much it.
Yeah. First off, I think it's actually very smart that the people at id are looking at how streaming is used per genre, and they're looking at the genre they're dabbling in, and they're going, we want more interaction with that. How do we do that? Outside of how excited I am for this feature, it's interesting because that's an evolution that you're not really hearing a whole lot about right now, but I'm sure other people are going to follow if this does well. So that's just kind of an interesting tidbit. As for what you can do with it, I think it's really cool. Kind of like what you were saying. I don't want people to interact with my game too much, but it is neat if you are like a professional streamer and you're just trying to have fun with your community or whatever, and have them all heal you and stuff like that. Because in my brain, I'm thinking like, well, you're probably just gonna like be OP at that point if you have like thousands of people watching you and there's fucking getting you up every time and like getting your health up, stuff like that, which would be fun for everybody. Nobody's gonna be like, oh man, I'm still alive, this sucks. But that's a really cool way to interact with the people who are watching you. I really like the participants in game have people who are watching your name, because that's gonna create funny moments and interesting things like, oh shit, I just killed the shit out of a psycho. Fucking murdered the fuck out of him.
Mom on TV.
Yeah, exactly. I had to say Psycho because there was another game. I forgot what game it was, but it had Vermintide 2 has like a director thing where the people on Twitch can decide like what monsters and shit will spawn. And as soon as we even talked about that, he's like, give me the controls to that. The power. And I was like, no. I don't think there's any good intentions with that. But yeah, no, this is really cool, and I'm really kind of excited. I like that it's funny how there are companies, specifically Japanese companies, who don't want you to stream their shit.
Yeah.
There's a different mentality. It's like cultural almost, I would assume, because I'm only seeing it from certain companies. Some people are like, don't put that up. Oh, that's our music. We're going to fucking ding you and all sorts of shit. And then you got people on the opposite side understanding that this is free advertising. They already bought your game. They paid you for your game. You sold them, and now they're willing to show other people that game. And not only show them that, they might have a bunch of great shit to say about it as they're playing it. And now id and other companies are going, maybe we can make that advertisement interactive and fun for them.
You get 1 out of 100 people to actually buy the game. It's a success.
Yeah, and Twitch has systems where you can fucking click a link right when you're watching and you buy that game.
And they get something.
Yeah, it's just the evolution of that system, and it's interesting. I think, you see why they do it, but I also think there's good intentions there as well. There's innovation there. They want people to have fun with this. It helps them. It helps you, but it also is just there's nothing bad about it. It's just interesting. Being able to heal someone you're watching, you're part of that. You're like, oh shit, you went down. It also keeps people engaged. Some people just put it on and listen to you. Yeah. If you go down, someone is going to be watching you. They're going to be interacting with you more. If their name's in the race, they're going to want to see what happens. If my name's there, I'm going to be like, fucking win, motherfucker. That NPC better win.
It is funny how you will immediately get an attachment
to an NPC that otherwise I don't give a shit about. Yeah. It just has my name, so I'm like, oh. Just like in Forza, I'd see your name, I'm like, oh, fuck, and I have to, like, beat you and shit. It's not even you. It just has your name above it. I was like, oh, shit, there's fucking Josh. I'd slam into him.
I brought it up before, too. It was a big reason why I like the squads mode in Ghosts.
Yeah. So. There's something that just adds a little bit of personality to it. It's personal. It's kind of neat. So overall, this is awesome. I will be streaming this game. I just got it, like I said, got it downloading. I'll be playing it a little bit by myself, but then at some point I'll stream it and we'll test this out because I'm kind of curious. Although I'm not sure how it'll work with restream dual streaming. I'll be curious to see. And if it doesn't work with that, I'll stream it to Twitch just to test it out. But I'm really curious on how this will work. And I can't wait to see what they do with other games. And I can't wait to see what other people do with stuff like this. So overall, very cool. Mm-hmm. Anything else you want to say on that?
No, I'm just looking forward to seeing what devs come up with the Twitch extensions.
Yeah, I think the loot thing's fucking crazy. Because you can just be sitting there watching someone play a game and acquiring loot for essentially participating by being there. By essentially watching the ad the whole time.
When every time they open a box, you get to open a box.
Yeah. So I mean, like, even if you're not able to be at home and playing, you can be watching someone on the phone and going, oh shit, loot. It's like a cooperative experience.
When you go home, you turn on your game, and it's attached to your shift account. There you go.
Yeah, that's crazy. Let us know in the comments what you think about Rage 2 having these Twitch extensions with the healing through viewers and their names being in races. What do you think about games like Vermintide allowing people to change difficulty, and other games like Borderlands 3 doing the loot boxes as you watch? What would you like to see companies do with this? Do you not like this? Do you think this is too much? You don't want them interacting with the games? Is there something that we don't know about this that could potentially be bad, or is it all around awesome? Let us know everything you think about when it comes to Twitch extensions and games and Rage 2. Last bit of news relating to something that we watched recently.
Like Seth said, we recently watched the Sony State of Play, and
It's a really cool fucking video.
I'm sure most of you, at the very least, heard about it. But at the end, they showed off Final Fantasy VII. Square pretty much did this as a teaser for their upcoming E3 presentation that they will be, as they've kind of worded in this article here, unveiling the curtain for Final Fantasy here. There's some details, though, that were mentioned in an interview that we're going to kind of go over here.
Confirming some stuff that people were wondering if it still existed.
Yeah, so when this studio, when a different studio was working on the project, it was going to be an episodic game. And ever since Square has brought the game back in-house, we've been waiting for information, and we finally got some. And they basically said the game is still going to be a multi-part series. There is some quotes I'm going to read, and then I have a little bit of information, and then we'll go into details.
I also want to emphasize, though, when I've been looking this up, people are still saying episodic.
Yeah.
But they are using the word multi-part. They're
Yeah.
trying. It seems like they're trying to differentiate from that episodic thing, because it's gestated for a while now, where people have been going episodic.
Yeah.
And now they're going, it's multi-part. We'll call it that.
And they specifically said it's not going to be like a Telltale game or a Life is Strange. It's going to be. I'll just read it, and we'll get into it. Yeah. So, to quote, and I apologize for butchering names, but Yoshinori Kitase.
Where's it at?
Right here.
Yoshinori.
Kitase is all I can think of there.
Yeah, Kitase.
It will be essentially a
Kitase.
full-scale game for each part of the multi-part series. Using the example of in Final Fantasy 13, each installment told the story from a different angle. It was kind of like approaching an unknown territory in a sense. Whereas with Final Fantasy 7 Remake, we already have a pre-existing story, so it wouldn't really make sense if that wasn't encompassed in a multi-part series. We're just looking at each of these parts. One part should be on par with the scale of one Final Fantasy 13 game. And then another quote by Tetsuya Nomura, reiterating details about the game. Most of the plans are already in place and in the run up to launch, so please bear with us a little longer until we can release more information next month.
E3.
So I want to add something to that too. When he's saying each part is the length of one of the Final Fantasy 13 games,
Very specific.
the shortest Final Fantasy 13 game was 13.2 at 28 hours if you just ran through the story.
Ain't
So
bad.
you're looking at 30-hour parts. And if they're going to do the same thing where there's extras and completionist stuff, you're looking at potentially 41 70-hour, games each. And I know at one point there was an example of like, it essentially be like chapters. This will be the Midgard chapter. This will be, this chapter. So with that being said, what do we think?
Just to kind of tighten that up a bit too. Again, reemphasizing, when they originally said episodic, everybody thought episodes, like 4 hours, 3 hours, 10 hours maybe.
Yeah, these are games.
That's not appealing to me at all, and it wasn't appealing to anyone I've talked to.
No.
Especially with something this big. It's Final Fantasy VII. Everybody, most people love Final Fantasy VII. I saw like 3 people on Twitter go, "Not everybody loves Final Fantasy VII." I'm like, well, I found the 3 people who don't, so I guess you're right. But and that's fine. You can hate the fuck out of it, or dislike it all you want, or not like it at all, or not even care about it. I don't care about that. That's fine. Be your own person. But when they're talking about this now, and they're talking about them essentially being the size of a Final Fantasy 13, which I think is weird they're being that specific, but with that game, if they do this correctly, I think it'll be really good, and I think they will. I have no reason to think that they haven't thought this through. In my brain's telling me I want the whole thing in a chunk. And, I might still want that. But if they do this correctly, they could have the beginning intro. Essentially, it sounds like they're making Final Fantasy VII into multiple games.
Yeah.
Not just like it's one game cut into pieces. It sounds like we're getting like, for instance, like how we have Uncharted, Uncharted 2, Uncharted 3 telling a story of Nathan Drake. It sounds like they're making Final Fantasy VII into multiple games.
Yeah.
And it almost sounds like every section of it might have its own name maybe with it. Final Fantasy VII Remake, whatever the hell. I wouldn't be surprised because Japanese and specifically Square Enix likes to fucking have a lot of names for their games. And I wouldn't be surprised at that. And I actually think if they did that really well, I think it'd actually be really cool because we might be getting more from the story of Final Fantasy VII than we ever did before in that sense. And it might be able to leave you off at a point every time when you beat that game in like 40 hours or whatever, where you're clamoring for the next chunk. You know what's going to happen in the story, but in this interpretation and all the visuals and stuff, you're going to really fucking want that because it's going to all look great with new cutscenes, better graphics, more locations, better fleshed out world and characters, stuff like that, because the technology's there. And if you're playing for 40 hours per fucking game, I think you're going to get an overall bigger experience from Final Fantasy VII than you would just if it was a singular game. Because if it was a singular game, it'd probably be about 40 to 60 hours with, completion shit, maybe up to 100 to 200 hours if it's a normal Final Fantasy. So we're going to be getting we're essentially getting a bigger book. We're getting a series of books as opposed to one book to tell this story.
Yeah.
And I still have some hesitations because if they fuck it up, we're all going to hate it. We're going to be like, you should have never fucking done this. And I'll be the first one to say it. But if they nail it, I think it could work. I think it could be awesome. I would not be opposed to having 3, 4, 5 fucking separate 40-hour games of Final Fantasy VII telling the whole story of Final Fantasy VII if they're all done amazing.
Yeah.
I'd play every single fucking one of them. It also allows them to get, and this is going to sound like early access. I'm not meaning this way. You'll be able to get part of Final Fantasy VII earlier than later, and as you're playing that, they can develop the next part, which I'm sure they're already working on. So like I said, I don't want to sound pro or con to this, just like, woo, it's good or it's bad. I just think that there's potential here to do something really fucking cool. I'm so glad that they're starting to get away from that word of episodic, because when you think of that, you start thinking of the standard of episodic things, short little episodes. And that's fine. There's certain games work well with that. Final Fantasy VII, no fucking way. I don't want that. But when they're saying these are just multiple parts of the whole story as games that are the size of Final Fantasy 13, you're starting to get me back. This is starting to sound interesting to me. And I hope they nail it, because this could be really good or really bad. And I don't think it'll be bad. Square Enix has been doing really good lately, so.
Yeah. No, I also want to put out there that I don't, obviously, I can't have a solid opinion about the game until we get, I really think E3 is going to be kind of like the big thing for us when they give us actually solid information.
This E3 is going to be good, I can tell.
Yeah.
I feel it.
I do think there are some positives to this idea as well, and I do think the long-form storytelling is going to be a really good part of that. But another thing to keep in mind here is this game is going to be fully voice acted, like completely fully voice acted, which does take more time than text does. So that does slow down the pace of the game a little bit. And also, I'm not quoting anything here. This is more so, I'm pretty sure I read somewhere, and correct me if I'm wrong.
Lance Bass confirmed. That's what he read.
That, like, for example, Midgard in the original game, you visited sections of the sectors. Versus in this, the idea would be you would be able to explore all of Midgard, as an example. So
yeah, and
that would be that game. It's just the Midgard chapter, and you get to do all that stuff.
And this will be bigger than the original.
Yeah,
I mean, even in the different sections, that's of course gonna be bigger. But just because of the technology and how much you can accomplish now in the same amount of time as a game back then, and they already have the story written, they just got to expand on it and write newer dialogue.
Yeah,
and stuff.
It's already there, and they also said that they're going to do the fun stuff as well that was in there. Like they specifically did say the cross-dressing thing will I'm pretty sure they said that, at least that will be there. So that's good to see that they're not like scared of doing the weird stuff. But
watch it just come out for Japan.
Wow. Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. But I had something I was going to say there.
Cross-dressing. There's nothing wrong with it.
That's not what I was going to say. But I do think, obviously, it's going to suck waiting for another installment, but they're making a lot of smart decisions with this too. It's on Unreal, which helps them speed up development of the game. The engine's established. All they have to do is bring assets into it. They've shown us the teaser at this point. Character models are improved from the original teaser as well. They are amazing looking.
Yeah.
I know there was originally a concern with the way Cloud looked when the other company was working on it.
Have you seen the before and afters?
Uh-uh.
They're fucking hugely different.
Well, he looks amazing now. I know that.
The game looks way better than it did. And I remember when I first saw it,
Probably
I was
why
like,
they
whoa, it
brought
looks
it
amazing.
in-house then.
And it looked great
Yeah.
before. It just looks better now because it's been years later. They first showed it off in 2015.
Yeah. Well,
That was a
also,
while ago.
you had brought up getting parts of it so they can keep working on it. This is actually something I'm sure they're concerned about. Look how long it took 15 to come out.
Yeah.
They're not known for pumping out games, man. So it does make sense for them to be able to give us pieces of it while they keep working on it.
They released episodes for 15, so they're already kind of fucking around with long form. They have MMOs, so and I've already told you, but like I've been playing a shitload of JRPGs recently, and all the good ones I don't want to end when I beat them.
For sure.
I'm just like, fuck, man. I was really enjoying that world, and like now I'm done with everything. So I go in there, I grind and hit max level, and try and get as much out of it. And if I can invest multiple games worth of time in Final Fantasy VII, if they do it right, I might love that.
Yeah.
Because now I'm gonna have like Final Fantasy VII 1, Final Fantasy VII 2, Final Fantasy VII 3, that story told in a long form that can really fucking just kind of exist in that world.
I think you gave a good example with Uncharted.
Yeah, I was just trying to think of a series that has a story that carries through.
For sure.
That like anytime Uncharted 3 comes out, you're not like, oh man, another one of those. You're like, oh fuck, I can't wait to see where it goes now.
Now here comes the concerns for me. How long are the waits going to be? Is your character and progress and stuff like that going to carry over between games? How seamless is that going to be?
They have to do it, and they have to do it right. That was what I was worried about too. I would assume they're going to do it, but how's it going to work?
Yeah.
Your save just going to cross over. That'd probably be the easiest way to do it. Just like all your stats and equipment just carries over to the next game. If they don't do that, I don't know what the fuck they're doing, because that'd be crazy, because then it's not going to feel like an RPG anymore.
For sure.
It's going to feel like episodes. But if they do let you transfer stuff over, it's got to be seamless. It can't be like, oh, fuck, where's my goddamn equipment at?
I also wonder how they're going to handle levels at that point then. Because, like, what if you're playing, let's say, part 1 for like 90 hours and you got maxed out?
Maybe there'll be a soft cap.
And that's what I was kind of trying to get to was, maybe they'll prevent you from hitting, or maybe your level resets, but your gear carries over.
Maybe there'll be a max level per game of where you can get to, and the game will finish before that, so you still have time to grind it out and get further if you want to, or get to a responsible level that you'll be able to play once the next game comes out. But then maybe when all the games are released, there can be like a new game plus where you can go back and play from whatever and go through the game again or something like that. I mean, I'm just throwing fucking ideas out there.
I mean, I'm sure they have a game plan too. This is one of the last games they want to screw up, and they know it.
This isn't Disney or Star Wars. They must have a plan.
Well, the whole thing is, people have been asking for this forever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever.
They can't fuck this up.
And they know that. They know that for sure. It would be just a huge hit, especially in a time where they're really like recovered right now. So,
off topic, but did you hear the guy who made Final Fantasy Tactics is considering making a sequel?
No, but after working, sorry, this is turning a little tasty casty here now, but
anyone who cares about this won't mind.
He recently did the raid for Final Fantasy 14, and he wrote it all and did all the character designs and stuff like that. So he probably got some stuff flowing again.
Well, he was talking in an interview recently, and they were asking him if he's ever going to make another Tactics game or Ogre, whoever the fuck.
Tactics Ogre.
He makes both of them. He made both of them.
Oh, yeah. That makes a lot of sense.
And people keep asking him, I guess, his whole career, and he's one of those guys at Square Enix. The only reason I thought of this is because with Final Fantasy VII, when everybody's like, make a remake, and Square Enix was like, we always look to the future. We don't want to live in our past. And then they made a bunch of shit games. And then they started going, we're going to kind of listen to everybody, but try and maintain that idea. And so he has the same mentality. He was saying that he likes to make new things. He doesn't want to work on stuff from his past. But he also said, which is kind of cryptic, he's like, I'm getting older, and he's like, if I'm gonna do it, I need to do it before I can't anymore.
Yeah.
Whether he dies or he gets too old to
work on it. Or just too old for the industry. Yeah.
So he's essentially saying that like he probably should work on it. He should probably make a Final Fantasy Tactics too, which would be sick.
Yeah.
That'd be fucking huge.
Yeah, those games really kind of don't exist anymore. I mean, Wargroove is like The only one I can think of recently.
Yeah, that's it.
So
there's another one I saw somebody playing recently that looked kind of chintzy.
While people are making that stuff, hey Sega, why don't you let someone make Shining Force?
Yeah, let me make it. Give me the funds.
Games you're making.
Give me the funds so I can commit fraud.
Anyways, I think it's safe to assume we're both excited for the prospect of what this can be.
Yeah.
So,
but hesitant to know that there's risks involved, and we hope the best for it.
Yeah.
I think it's a good showing of them clearing up that these aren't like episodes like you expect from in gaming already. What episodes are, that they're actually making just chunks. They're making individual games of the same series. Sure. So, which is really kind of interesting. So it's up to them to nail that or not, and I hope they do, because we all want a good Final Fantasy VII. And if they do it in multiple games and it's awesome, nobody's going to complain. Yeah. But if it's not good, everybody's going to complain. So it's quite the gamble. Anything else you want to say on that?
It'll be blood and fire.
Pretty much. Let us know in the comments, are you willing to fucking give blood and fire or take blood and fire, whatever the fuck you do with those two things, if this game's good or bad? What do you think about Final Fantasy VII Remake? What do you think about them going multiple segments of this game and clearing up the whole episodic thing? Do you still want them to just make one solid single game, or are you more interested in this prospect of having 40-hour segments of Final Fantasy VII? How would you like them to do it, and what do you think they're going to do when it comes to continuity between the segments? Let me know everything you're thinking about when it comes to Final Fantasy VII Remake. And if you did not watch our episode where we reacted to that, it's like a couple episodes ago, State of Play episode. It was a good time. But that's going to do it for this episode of Tasty Tuesday on Tasty Loot Gaming. As always, thank you for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this episode. Make sure to check out our other episodes. Check us out on Tumblr, Twitter, and Facebook at Tasty Loot Gaming. Check out my streams on Twitch at Tasty Senpai, all one word. Hit the notification button to know when I go live. And I stream on YouTube and Twitch at the same time, so you can watch me wherever the fuck you want to watch me. It keeps telling me, hey, you can stream to Facebook as well. I'm like, I don't know if I want to do that. But if anybody wanted me to, I might consider it. We are on iTunes, Spotify, and other podcast platforms if you prefer to listen to us. And we have a Discord link down below. Talk to us anytime, all the time. My name's Seth.
I'm Chevy.
And check out Tasty Flicks and other episodes that we did recently. Until the next episode, which will be later this week, have a good week, guys, and take it easy.